Hello, I'm Mr. Day, and today we're talking more about exponents. Alright, first we're going to talk about multiplying exponents. So let's say I have a base of 4 raised to the 2, the power of 2. Then I have another base of 4 raised to the power of 3. Now to multiply bases with exponents, the bases have to be the same. Alright? I can't have a 5 here and then have a 2 here. So if this was 5 squared times 3 to the 4th, I can't do that because my bases are different. The bases have to be the same in order to do what I'm about to show you. Alright? So 4 raised to the power of 2 and 4 raised to the power of 3. So when I'm multiplying numbers with exponents or variables with exponents, the base stays the same, and I add the exponents. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So now I get 4 to the 5th, or 4 to the power of 5. And then that, as we learned before, 4 to the power of 5 means I have 5 4s. So that gives me 16, 64, 256, and then times another 4 gives me, I'm going to look at my sheet, 1,000. Right? So 4 to the power of 2 times 4 to the power of 3 gives me 4 to the power of 5. And that gives me 1,024. Base stays the same. And then what's 3 plus 4? 7. So that gives me 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2, 4, 6, 7. Whatever that is, that's your answer. So when multiplying exponents that have the same bases, you just add the exponents together. The same can be said if you have variables, right? X to the power of 3, x to the power of 2, and I'm multiplying them together. Nothing changes here. So this just gives me x, and then I add the exponents. X to the power of 5, and it really is just that simple. So when you multiply exponents, you add the exponents together. Right. Now dividing exponents. So when I divide, so when I multiply them, I add it. And since dividing is the inverse operation of multiplication, what do you think we're going to do here? We're going to subtract them. So you subtract the bottom from the top. So on top I have 3. So then that just becomes 3 minus 1 is 2. So my answer is x squared. The other way that you might see this written is x to the 3 divided by x to the first. That gives you the same thing, x squared. So when you divide exponents, you subtract the exponents. Right? Multiply, we added, divide, we subtracted. I'm going to show you another example of that, and then we're going to show you 2 more examples of that, and then we're going to talk about negative exponents. Alright, here's our example 2. 4 to the 6 divided by 4 squared. Our bases stay the same, because we have 4, and then 6 divided by 2 is 4. Once again, this does not mean 4 times 4. What that means is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. It gives us 16, 64, 256. So when you're dividing exponents, you subtract them. Now for a little bit more tricky of a problem. Immediately, usually when people see this, they'll say, oh, that is just 2 to the power of 2. It is not, because we subtract the top, or the bottom from the top. So my base stays the same, but then what is 3 minus 5? It's negative 2. So now I have 2 raised to the negative 2. Now, you've probably never seen a negative exponent, but what this means is that negative means you take the reciprocal. I'm probably going to spell this wrong, so I'm going to say the reciprocal. I guess. I've spelled it wrong for years, it's probably wrong there. So what that means is you just flip it. So that negative means this becomes 1 over 2 squared. So it just means flip it. So then that simplifies to 1, 2 times 2, which is 1/4. Negatives. So here's another example of a negative. I have 6 to the negative 2. That negative means I flip it, and that becomes 1/6 squared, which gives you 1 over 6 times 6, which gives you 1 over 36. So it uses the basic exponent skills that we learned first, but now the negative flips it. Now I know what you're asking yourselves. What if it's already flipped? So what if I have 1/5 1/5 raised to the negative 2. Right? What you do here is that negative just means the same thing. Nothing's changed. Since it's already flipped, you just flip it back. And it becomes 5 squared. Or if you want to say 5 over 1 squared, which just gives you 5 squared, which then gives you 5 times 5, which is 25. So it doesn't matter if it's in whole number form or fraction form. No matter what, you flip it. You take the reciprocal. Right? If you can get that through your head, negatives are not that difficult. You just got to flip it. All right, I'm going to do one more example of that. Actually, so these exponent rules will follow you for quite a while, especially the negatives and multiplying. You'll see them a lot throughout your time. I hope this helped, and good luck.